days, been pretty busy, so I just want to welcome everybody in here. Thank you so much for everybody joining in. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be a fun live video for us tonight. I want to discuss some details of the GT500, but first I want to say hi to everybody in here and also give you guys an update. And of course, Fish Stick says I was putting gel in my hair. That's not the truth, but I mean, I kind of wish it was, because that'd be a pretty good excuse to use. But in any case, though, welcome everybody to the channel again. I see people joining in here and chatting. I just want to touch base on the GT500. We're going to dive right into the content here. And basically, I'm going to give you guys an update on the red eye when I'm done. So here it goes. The GT500 has always been the staple for Ford. It just always has been. Ever since back in the 1960s, when they basically beat Corvette and made a name for themselves with the help of Carroll Shelby, it went from the GT350 to the GT500, and it became a stellar selling car over the past 50 years. And I feel that I can bring you this video because I've owned a GT500. I owned a 2007 and I loved it. And then I traded it in eventually for the Hellcat. And well, one of the vehicles I traded in for the Hellcat was the GT500, but the other one was the BMW. We'll get to that in another video. But the GT500 was a spectacular car and I loved it. They went from 500 horsepower to 550 to 662. And then they did the greatest thing ever. They announced a 700 horsepower Mustang, or teased, should I say, a little over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And it's been crickets for 2 years. Their marketing team has had a very negative impact on the GT500. A lot of people don't realize it because you've got Mustang fanboys out there who will always have Mustangs. Now, that's not coming from a guy who dislikes Mustangs. I've owned 2 of them. One of them was a GT500. And I absolutely loved it. And I really have faith in the GT500 to be a great car. In fact, I want one. I've told everybody that on my channel. I've done videos about it in the past. In fact, I've done a video with Mike at Street Speed, or actually we also talked about it off the record about how we both want one. The GT500 is a marvelous machine, but it's backed and built by a company who has very piss poor marketing. And that is a fact. Even Mike at Street Speed said it. Their marketing department sucks, like real bad. They don't have a clue how to market this car. If Dodge was marketing this car, it would sell to people who didn't even like the car. Okay, that's just how it is. And the Mustang GT500 could have done so much better. They spent 20 minutes talking about a police Explorer that nobody cares about. They took all-wheel drive out of the Explorer. Let me tell you, this company, Ford, has taken all-wheel drive out of the Explorer. Now, I'm not sure if I'm grasping that. Maybe I'm wrong. But from what I gathered, it's no longer all-wheel drive, and it's just rear-wheel drive, and they've given us 400 horsepower. The Durango's already had 470 for over a year, and the Jeep has had that for 6 years or more. And we've had 420 in the WK1 Jeeps going back to 2007. So Ford doesn't know how to market performance, which is why the GT500's launch, or big, huge reveal at the Detroit Auto Show, stunk. They gave the Mustang 3 minutes out of 25 minutes. They didn't tell us horsepower. They didn't tell us weight. They didn't tell us torque. They didn't tell us exact 0 to 60. They didn't tell us quarter mile times. They told us nothing. They didn't tell us anything we already knew. And there's a reason for that. And the reason they didn't tell us what they knew is because they don't know. That's the thing. Believe it or not, Ford doesn't even know, because they don't know where they want to go with it, because Dodge is putting out so much stuff. The GT500 is going to be a risk for Ford. It could be obsolete before they even release the car. And I'll explain why. I think the GT500 could be the biggest selling car in the history of cars, or one of them. The problem is that they're being marketed by the most piss-poor marketing team ever, right next to GM's, because their marketing department sucks too. as does Toyota's and a lot of other manufacturers, but we'll get to that in another video. The problem here with the GT500 is it's very capable of making 800 horsepower. Ford knows it, but they don't want to push the envelope too far as they're a very green company now. So they're trying to get the most they can out of it without going too far, but they don't know if releasing it with 740 horsepower or 755 is going to be enough because Dodge has got something else coming. We all know that. Dodge is coming. And Ford knows it, which is why they haven't announced anything in concrete detail, because they all know somewhere between Detroit, Chicago, and New York, Dodge is going to dump something crazy on the market or tease it, and it's going to kill the GT500 before it's even released. They also want to make an impact by basically having people think that they are going to release this car with less power and then drop a bombshell on us that maybe it has 820 or 800 plus. Most likely not going to be over 772 though, so let's not get too crazy with it. The real deal here is that Ford is in a critical position where they are battling for a stronghold between Dodge, and GM is, I believe, slightly ahead of Ford in this department because they have the C8 Corvette coming out. They have the C7 that's already out. They got the ZR1. They got the ZL1, and they just did a facelift, and they got the new trucks coming out. So GM's doing good. They really are. Ford is very, very apprehensive about which number to plug for the Mustang. And not only that, they want to shock us at the same time. So it's a little bit of both. And we're probably not going to see much of anything from Ford as far as numbers until probably the New York Auto Show. It could very well even be later than that. I don't know. But I will tell you guys for sure that the GT500 very well could be the #1 car of all time from Ford. But they need to learn how to handle their marketing better than they have. They really do. Because showing on a chopper, that's a page out of GM's book. GM revealed 2019 Silverado 500 the exact same way. So I just think in any way that Ford is really putting effort into this. About this for everybody out there who loves Ford, a Mustang lover. Think about this. I love Mustangs, okay? So I'm speaking to you from a point and perspective of somebody who actually loves Mustangs. I want you guys to sink in. I'm not a fanboy of Dodge. Everybody who loves Dodge knows I love cars. I'm not about just one brand. No car, a couple guys. But I'm a car guy, and I've got a truck, a car. I've had like BMWs, Mustangs. I love Mustangs. I just love, always have. The problem here, like I've said many times, market. And so basically, Ford an issue with is their marketing department, which they're not doing very good on. They spent 18 or 17 minutes or talking about an Eco Explorer and a Base Explorer. Think about this. They spent 90% of their reveal time not even talking about their Halo car. When Dodge does a reveal on a new car, they have got the whole world popping. Everybody knows something huge is coming. Look at the Elephant. Everybody was on board. They told you horsepower. They told you specs. They leak it in papers. They leak it in ads. They leak shit everywhere. And then when you watch it, you're blown away. I was not impressed with the campaign at all. And that's from a guy that's been working on cars for 17 years and a car lover since I've been old enough to know what a car is. And I'm telling you as a Mustang lover that their campaign sucked. Do you think that their vehicle good? That's your own opinion and you're entitled to it. But there's not going to be a lot of people out there that are going to think the campaign was great, because it was not. It was really bad. Okay? It's just the honest truth. But, you know, to be honest, I think it was better than Toyota's. I think the GT500's campaign was way better. I think that Toyota has done themselves a real bad number. I'm going to talk about the Supra in another video because I know all JZ and the 2JZ GTE motors. I've been doing cars my whole life, and the Toyota Supra with car not to screw with. They should have never brought it back. Never, never, never. Should never brought Supra back. I'm a fan of the Supra, and I'm a fan of BMW. And this is not a Supra video, but I don't